Hi everybody, this is Liam Martin from Running Remote, and in today's video we have Steli Efti, who is the CEO and founder of dotcom. He just graduated from the .io world into the .com world. I think that was, if we don't mind saying.
Perfect.
Yeah, but was that not a six-figure-ish acquisition?
Six-figure-ish, for sure.
That's baller.
Yes.
So we're going to be talking about how to build a remote sales team. So Steli has 44 team members located in how many different countries?
14 different countries.
And it's entirely remote. It's a remote first sales organization. This is one of the things that a lot of remote teams have a lot of difficulty trying to crack. I would actually say probably it is the most difficult part to crack in the entire kind of remote team gambit. I know for us, we've spent millions of dollars trying to figure out how to make the sales team work. I should have probably called you a couple years ago. You would have solved the problem for me. But today we have 3 major points about how to build a remote sales team from Steli Efti. Let's go. So Steli, point number 1, what is the most important thing that people need to know when building a remote sales team?
You cannot hire junior people.
Yeah.
Right? So even if somebody's incredibly talented, if they've never done sales before, if they don't have a proven track record of being incredibly disciplined humans, very mature humans, and have a kind of the groundwork of knowledge on how to sell and how to close the deal, it's going to be so much harder, if not almost impossible, to make them successful. You hire these people and they have to, figure out the entire work design, their daily life, and if they don't know how to sell, and if they've not been in a professional job before, they're going to fail miserably for you and they're going to cost you a lot of money. So only hire more experienced people to do remote selling.
So no 21-year-old right out of school smile and dial type people?
No.
No. Okay, cool. Point 2.
Point 2 is, you need to communicate differently with a remote sales team than you would, let's say, with a remote designer or developer team, right? So salespeople are way more social creatures than other people might be. We're overgeneralizing, but typically salespeople want to have face-to-face communication. They want to connect on a very human level. That's how they get inspired. That's how they get energy. It doesn't cost them energy to talk to people. It gives them energy to talk to people. So you want to make sure that you involve a lot more video conferencing and calling into the day, that there's no day that passes where your remote sales team has not talked to each other or talked to you and has just been on their own, because that's going to make them less and less effective over time.
One of the biggest things that we've looked at when we've been data mining a lot of remote teams is, from a psychological perspective, introversion is actually one of the green flags for remote work. So it allows people to be a lot more productive. I'm slightly on the extroverted side of the scale. I think you're a little bit more on the other side of that scale. And so I know for me, I need to spend like 1 or 2 days a week in a co-working space or a coffee shop to kind of get that energy. So that's in essence what you're saying is these guys are at their core very social beings. They get their energy talking to other people, get them out there, get them communicating as much as possible.
Yeah. For sure, and don't just use the framework that you utilize successfully for your developer team, support team, and design team. Just don't think that you can use the same framework of communication for your sales team. You're going to need to use a different framework, a different environment for these people to flourish and do really well.
And what's the third point? What's the third thing that we need to know when we're building a remote sales team?
So salespeople are highly competitive creatures. You want to have the type of salesperson in most companies today that are supportive, right? Team players, but they still need to have that competitive drive. And so just because they're remote and they're dispersed around the globe doesn't mean that they shouldn't be competing with each other. And it shouldn't be obvious to everybody in the business who's doing really well. So, and remote companies typically shy away from internal competition, right? They want to be just a very inclusive, very supportive environment. Everything is a team sport that gets an end result and an end score that can't be attributed often to an individual person. You need to do this differently in sales. Make sure that you have leaderboards. Make sure that you have monthly competitions. Make sure that you really reward your stars, and they don't get just compensated better, but they get a bit more attention and they get recognition for the work that they do and that they're doing better. That's going to ensure that the best sales reps will stay with you and stay happy instead of looking elsewhere, and that the people that are the most talented are going to be striving to get to the top. If you are thinking about hiring a remote salesperson, you tell them that you're doing competitions, there are special rewards for people that are outperforming, and they get turned off by that, they're not really made for selling, and you shouldn't be hiring them. And if you have a remote culture that's very anti-competition, you're gonna turn away the best sales reps, the best performing sales reps. So you need to make sure that you have some friendly competition within the sales team, even if it's remote.
Cool, got it. So that is Friendly competition, communicate to them differently, and what was the last point that you had at the very
Hire
beginning?
senior people,
Hire
experienced
senior
people.
Okay, so if anyone else needs any other information, I'm presupposing there's a lot of content on close.com where you can check that out. And if you're really interested in actually building a sales team, Close just happens to be a CRM, which is absolutely critical to actually building a remote sales team. If you're interested in building a remote sales team, he probably knows how to do it better than anyone else, and his software is probably also a better fit than most of the other products out there on the market. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
And if you guys like this video, why don't you give it a thumbs up? If you really like this video, why don't you subscribe? It's completely free and it doesn't cost you a penny. We talk about this kind of shit all day long.
Do it.
Thanks a lot.